work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life-ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, scheming, or trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. I do what I do for you. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like It or Not starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to Like It or Not. I thought I saw Rebecca in the house.
All right. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me check this chat. What?
Oh.
You're on
Okay.
mute, Queen.
You're on mute.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Sorry.
You did
I
what
thought it was
because-
doing.
When I tell you, I was in the seat right before, like, at the end of the song. I'm like, okay.
Oh, they still going. I got time. Bam,
Right.
Anywho, sorry. I apologize about that. I was just getting the tea from the microwave. It's been a long morning. I apologize about that. But good morning, guys. Sorry. Go ahead, Bubba. Let's get it together. It's Saturday morning. Start us off.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
And not care who doesn't like it.
All right, Ben. I see you in some color today. Love to see that.
Little blue. I said it's kind of a summer
Periwinkle?
color, but I said maybe it can pass for ice blue, winter or something. I don't know.
It's giving periwinkle, which is good. Like, that's a good color. It's going right into the fall we never got.
Hello.
That fall never came.
It really went
never
from
did.
80 degrees to 40 degrees last night.
No, for real.
And he's in. Well, look, me about to give you a
Queen. I'm in it.
And I apologize about that, but he's in Florida and we're in Georgia, and it's just giving like right now I got this turtleneck on. You know, turtleneck gives power. You know,
I love a turtleneck.
It gives you, yeah, I love a good turtleneck because it just gives, you know. But anywho, I got this turtleneck on, and just give it. Today is actually a cold day, one of the rare cold days that we've had in the last few weeks here in the Metro Atlanta area, and I feel like, you know, the past few weeks I've been looking for that cool breeze, you know, and I'll put on something in the morning. By midday, my mustache is sweating, my underarms, it's just so hot underneath the wig, and the beads is rolling up quicker than usual. I just be like, Lord. And the fact that I can take runs in the early morning, that tells me that, you know, it's climate change. And I know that for my I was looking at the weather. I'm like, okay, it's saying that it's actually 60 degrees outside, but yet my house is reading at a higher, you know, of course, heat rises, but my house is reading way higher than what it is outside, and I got the windows open and everything. Looked at my phone, and it was saying how it is 60 degrees outside, but it feels 9 degrees warmer than that. It's like it's gonna feel, and I'm like, what? It's just climate change. We're not getting our seasons like we're supposed to. People thought this was a joke. I remember being in high school, middle school, seeing these commercials about climate change, and we didn't take it seriously. This was one of the policies that became the laughing stock for years. People would make these jokes about global warming and all this stuff, and here we are. Can't even get a good fall. Can't even get a good fall.
Which means it's about to get worse over the next 4 years. What's that movie? It's a few of them that go over disastrous weather. That's going to be us the next 4 years. Yeah. Just pick your pick.
2012.
The day after tomorrow.
2012. Day after tomorrow. Take your pick.
Which the one that Tyler Perry came out with? I feel like it was Tyler Perry, or he was featured in it.
That was a parody of climate change. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, that's the real one, right?
We are on a path towards destruction on this planet. Hate to be that Saturday morning, y'all talk about climate change. I'm like, that just opens up a whole new thing in my head. I got to compartmentalize that because we've been ignoring it so long. And now you're right. We don't have fall anymore. We just go from summer to winter, and then winter lasts for like 3 weeks, and we right back past spring. We skip spring, and then we back in summer. So
it's so weird. And then it's like, why do we have this winterish coming in so randomly though? It's like winter's here, and then it's like slide, tomorrow's going to be 90 degrees, and it's like, but today is literally like 25 degrees, and tomorrow, how is it doing that? I'm not a scientist, but we didn't take it seriously. I know it for sure because I remember commercials actually joking about it. I remember CNN having panelists when they were discussing it, joking about it, talking about it not being a high policy or a high valued policy. but yeah, it's not one of the important policies at that time. And I don't think people understood. No one did. People did understand the gravity of it, but we didn't, as the regular constituents, regular everyday folks. And then we became more worried about transgender bathrooms and or letting them into the bathrooms, letting people into the we became so worried about the wrong things. And here we are, hungry and homeless and
storms.
Hot and cold. Don't know which one.
Yeah, I was at a concert, and of course, thank God I don't live in the city because I would just lose it. At a concert, Davido, my Haitian behind says Davido, but it's Davido. And I saw, of course, homeless people with their babies. The degrees were supposed to be, it was warmer when I went. The degrees dropped like 20 degrees from when we got into the spot to when we left. And there was a lady with her 3 kids. One of them was being a baby. And I know people use their kids as props out there, but it was all along where people were just enjoying themselves, pulling out in Bentleys, in all these kind of cars, Rolls Royces, all that kind of stuff. And all of these homeless people who were predominantly Black in the street. And it's like it was freezing. It was freezing. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all so worried about kicking them homeless people out of the Cop City area, where they have all these tents, and that's where they can literally house themselves, and putting in a training center for cops. But it is cold outside, and y'all not putting them in nowhere. Y'all not putting them. They're not housing them. People
because it's not bringing them no money. We were actually downtown yesterday, and under the overpass, like between I-20 and I-75, if you were just to see the number of tents in the area under that bridge, it's literally a small city right there. They don't care. Like I said, it's not making them any money. So they that's why they don't care, Becca. That's why they going ahead with that building that Cop City. They don't care what they do with these homeless people. They really don't.
And then people will mind their business, find a little area for them to, like the homeless, find an area for them to be safe, be amongst each other, have like community. This is the only community they can build at the time with what they have. And here they are. They chose this specific spot to kick them on out and do what they need to do. I remember going to the Kamala Harris rally, and right there in the middle of the road, as we were walking towards the Kamala Harris rally, a homeless man sleeping in his own everything you can think of, sleeping in it, just all over the place, just freshly threw up and was sleeping on top of that, and flies all over him. And we just going right to the rally. Look, this is literally a policy that we need to talk about, but let's head over to the rally. And I think about this stuff often because I think about a lot of the people who don't put stuff like that on their on there. And I'm talking about local leaders, because Atlanta, which is this alleged Black such and such, which I don't see it, but a lot of Black greatness is here. But when I do go into the city and stuff, I just don't get, like, I went to a place a little past, I was headed to church, and I was headed a little past, it was in the South Side, and I can't remember the name, but I know that they say it in songs. And I was going, and I say the apartment complexes look like motels from 1924. That probably just said Blacks only. Like, it gave, and not in a good way, like, it gave, this is all Blacks can get on this side of town. It is like, they don't pour into that side of town, which is very, very close to the city. And I was looking at, like, these people are living in shacks. They're one step away from homeless. I know these places are not up to code, and these type of apartment complexes are all along the street as well. Like, and then you turn one way, and there goes the Global World Center or whatever, Georgia World Global, something like that, where they were like, there are all these prominent areas, and so much homelessness or so much living conditions are not right out there. They do not contribute to those cities. They don't give to those cities. Yet, when you go further out, and I ain't gonna lie, outside of them areas where it is probably sundown towns, these people pour into their cities. They pour into their cities, and I'm like, and it's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes away. We're not talking about 3 hours away. I'm talking about right here in the metro Atlanta area. Every time you see Atlanta, it's like, and I don't mean to go on this rant, I just need to get this out of my system, because every time that's why I stopped going to the city. It's very depressing. And I'm saying, when I lived in New York, it was similar, but people were homeless outside, stuff like that. Here, they have this idea, like they do with all the bigger cities, even in LA, and we see that in New York. Atlanta is supposed to be, again, a Black Mecca, but the people who suffer the most in this little Black Mecca
are Black people.
Black people.
And these cities that they're singing about, praising these cities and stuff, I pass by these cities, and it's nothing like what they're talking about. People are suffering in these cities.
Yep.
And every other day you see a new apartment complex being built. Nobody's purchasing, nobody's doing none of that. They can't afford it.
That's the whole plan, though. They've got some pretty sick plans for the world. I don't know if y'all want to actually talk about it, because it's one Saturday morning. We want to laugh and have a good time. But part of their plan, I mean, they don't care if half of America is homeless, right? They don't care if the majority of America doesn't have clean water, doesn't have safe food, doesn't have any housing. They've found ways to make money off of us, even when we're poor, even when we're homeless. They have private prisons that they can put all of us in and get paid from the government. So they have some, we live underneath the most evil regime in the history of the world. They knew about climate change. They paid good money to a handful of scientists to deny it. And then they took those denials and they used it for the last 50 years to distract everyone. One of the things I remember the most, Rebecca, you're talking about the commercials you used to see back in the day about climate change. I never will forget NPR, supposed to be the top radio, stuff for people who like science and truth. I never forget they had Ted Cruz, booger eating Ted Cruz, who abandoned his people in Texas during the deep freeze a couple years ago. And he was on there talking about climate change being a hoax. And he used the fact that his parents were scientists or engineers as his justification and his qualification. And NPR didn't push back on it. And so there was a senator with no credentials whatsoever to discuss and dismiss climate change using the credentials of his mama to say that he had the right to talk about climate change. And it's that kind of stupidity that has been baked into American society. And here we are. No winter. I mean, no, we have winter. We have winter and summer. We don't have spring and fall anymore, just about anywhere in this country. And we have the biggest storms in the history of storms. And you add that on top of the homelessness,
Right.
you add that on top of the jobs and what they're getting ready to do to the economy. Yeah, that's why you think I turn to Jesus so hard. I'm like, Lord, Father, I stretch my hands to these people's is crazy.
Amen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying amen.
That's your amen corner. No, seriously, and you could take this. You could take this one off. Thank you so much. Here is this. Actually, David just let us know about there was a climate conference for 2024 that just wrapped. And I guess the nation's leaders or the world leaders got together to basically, I guess, discuss solutions to climate change. I don't think they're going to take it serious, but they all get together, different countries, to talk about, because it's not only here, y'all. It's all over the world. This is a global issue.
Yeah.
And so here's a little bit of some of the clips from it while David gets it for us. I appreciate it. But here's a little bit for us with some of the clips from it. One thing I do understand, and I do know, I think it's important for us to have the seasons, right? Living in Florida, we only pretty much have one season all year round when I lived in Florida. However, we knew when it got cooler, it would get cooler when it was supposed to. Even in South Florida, it may not be that cold, but to us, 65 degrees is freezing. Okay. And then you would have then it would go from like the cooler seasons. When you move towards the north, I was living in Tallahassee. That was the first time I ever felt freezing temperatures, 30 degrees and stuff. And so I saw the seasons. I saw the leaves change. I saw the seasons. I saw when it was summer. We understood that we needed those things but the trees are literally, and this is what's strange to me. I look outside, the trees are still changing colors. They're doing what they're naturally supposed to do. But I'm looking like, I even saw one area where the trees were blooming like spring flowers.
Right. Yeah. It was just funny, Becca, because out here, excuse me, y'all, it's just like leaves are still falling. By this time, all the leaves are falling. Everything is on the ground. When I tell you, it's just like, it's still a lot of leaves here. The color is just now coming in how it's supposed to. It's very confusing. When I tell you, it's very confusing. I hate it.
Yeah. And let's take a listen to the climate conference of 2024. Let's see what they got in store, or if they even have a clue. Very interesting. Let's hear.
Deadlock. Hopes for a positive outcome in Baku are fading. Some of the blame is directed at the organisers, Azerbaijan. The talks, after all, getting off to a less than auspicious start, with its president praising his country's fossil fuel wealth.
It's a gift of the God. Every natural resource, whether it's oil, gas, wind, sun, gold, silver, copper, all that are natural resources.
But much of the blame lies with the rich world, because these talks are about money, those most responsible for climate change helping pay others to fix it. Look at historical carbon emissions, and the US and the EU have burned the most and grown the richest from doing so. China and India are gaining fast, but want help not to repeat our industrial history. But it's poor countries most vulnerable to climate change that have the least responsibility for causing it. Chad's historical emissions, 9,000 times less, for example, than the United States. Money should help people in the southern hemisphere exposed to severe heat, droughts and floods with the least money to adapt. Rich countries should, for example, pay for a solar farm in Haiti instead of a coal-fired power plant, or plant trees in Kenya to absorb carbon and combat extreme heat. But the estimated bill for all of this is eye-watering. The talks in Baku have agreed that at least $1.3 trillion in climate finance is needed each year by 2035. The row, of course, is where that money is going to come from. It took rich countries 12 years to honour a previous commitment to come up with 100 billion a year in climate finance. And that was cobbled together from various sources. But the money that's being put on the table at the very end of these talks in Baku is way too little, according to the countries that were promised it.
It's the most disappointing outcome we've ever had. This is a slap in the face for developing countries. It can't be accepted. Just because developed countries put it on the table is not good enough a reason for developing countries to fall for it. And I don't expect any developing countries to fall for such low ambition.
These talks always end in carefully worded compromise, but it's hard to fudge a number. Whatever the outcome in Baku, it will reflect how seriously the world really takes the dangers of climate change.
They don't. Here's the plan is militarism. Their plan is to use force to keep all the refugees stuck in their countries, right? Their plan is to take everyone here in the United States that might be flooded out and just force us into areas where we can't get help, right? They don't plan to actually fix the problem. They plan to use police states, right? Cop cities, right? The National Guard. They are really going to quarantine us off into the regions that are flooded. They don't have a plan to save anybody. They're going to let everybody just fend for themselves.
And you know what's interesting? You talk about the copper and the gold and all that stuff being good resources. Meanwhile, in those underdeveloped countries or countries that are struggling, which actually have they ain't got no parts of contributing to the climate issue. The wealthier countries like US are a part of the issue when it comes to climate change. But these other countries that don't, they have the gold and the resources that the people are talking about to use for energy sources and stuff. But the people that they're using in the country, what they're paying them to go and mine the gold. Have you been seeing the videos go around of these people there that are mining the gold, putting themselves in position that is dangerous and to help other countries with their issues? And they're the ones that are causing it, but don't want to pay no money to the countries that ain't even doing all the issues that is causing the global. It's really crazy and selfish the fact that these countries have the nerve to go and propose these ideas that are to help, right? And it's actually a selfish way to help themselves. And like you said, Ben, the countries that are going to suffer the most are the ones that haven't even contributed to the global issue that is climate change.
That's the part, right? And even like if you look at it from a nation level, it's the same thing down to the individual level. Most of us as individuals don't contribute to climate change in a significant fashion as individuals, right? It's the industries. It's obviously the energy sector. It's the meat industry with the number of cattle, right? And the emissions that they give off, right? It's our consuming habits, but us as individuals, we don't contribute to it significantly as individual people, yet the responsibility, the outcomes, the impact is going to crush everybody individually, except those people who have enough money to get on their private jets, the same private jets that help cause this, and fly off to somewhere where there's actually safety and there's not flooding and they can actually. But at the end of the day, the good thing about this is, and you guys got to forgive me for being so glum, but the good news about this is that eventually it's going to kill everybody. So even the people, even the people who think they can get away for a while, those people who are causing it, it's going to get them too.
Yeah, and it's going to get them too. Just like the people that think that they're not going to get hit after voting for Donald Trump, that there's not going to affect them. Same thing. But anywho, David just said something that I think is interesting because it brings back to a time during the beginning of the pandemic, or the prime of the pandemic. David said New York and New Jersey are now being told that wildfires will be regular. And that's crazy because we used to have to deal with, when I was living in New York, the dealing with blizzards was the thing, which is natural because we're up north. But wildfires, I remember and I recall, if we can go back to a time during the prime of the pandemic or the meat of the pandemic, and we had that orange haze happening, that questionable orange haze that went from state to state, it was wildfires that were causing it, but it was going all across the United States. And we weren't getting real answers as to what was going on until we started figuring out it's the wildfires causing this, and it's causing it to come from literally opposite ends of the United States. Just going, it was wildfires, and I want to say they were happening in LA, or I would say in California. They were happening random spots all throughout, and that it was like a day people woke up in New York was orange and hazy.
Fire from Canada.
And it was crazy, right?
Yeah, the Canadian fires.
I'm all the way in Georgia, and I have pictures in my phone that had came up with 3 days of just random orange haze. We got nothing in our phone to tell us to don't breathe it in or be outside. It was foggy, and we weren't getting any notifications in our phones to not drive in it, because in the morning you couldn't see anything. But I say this to say, like, I don't think they give a care about who goes down from any of the effects of climate change, because even in that time, I mean, of course they didn't care about our health. We knew that from COVID and how they was doing us. People was dying every day. But in that time, people were questioning what the hell going on. We thought it was the end of the days. We thought it was end of the days, even though we living in them. We thought that was the day.
that was the day.
Yeah, I was like, Lord, if I can't even. And mind you, this is this week's wildfires, going across out here. That's
crazy.
So even though we don't talk about them like we did a few years ago, because it was strange, the occurrences were too many, too soon, back to back, simultaneous, all across the nation.
Wait, they just had wildfires in New York.
Well, this is wildfires happening. Where is this happening at?
Yeah. This past week, I'm not sure if it's still raging. It started in New Jersey. It continued in New York. New York and New Jersey are under an official drought. I think Massachusetts has a drought warning. Droughts aren't completely out of the ordinary, but not this frequent. Like, I think we had one a few years ago, and now we're back under a drought again. But yeah, the wildfires are not normal, and it's not Canada. It's here this time.
Do you know how absolutely sadistic and evil and like Disney villain you got to be to see this coming, know it's coming, and intentionally sit back and say, we're going to ignore it so we can keep making our money? That's the kind of people who run the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are in, I don't know, it's like we are so desensitized naturally, like to see this and just be like, dang, we didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how we are. There's no news, doesn't even do enough to let us know. America, like a lady said, you're in danger, girl.
Yes.
It really doesn't do enough anymore. Now it's almost like we see this news and we treat it like a TikTok video until it reaches our door, and the rest of the world is going to treat our news like a TikTok video.
That's right.
And it's not important to your local leaders. It's not important to your national leaders. It's not important to your global leaders, because they get to escape. They get to go and sit in their bulletproof homes and homes that are protected for wildfires, or go to their next house and cry about this house, but go to their next house and be just fine, while you burnt up everything and you couldn't pay for your insurance that 1 month. And that happened to be the day that the wildfire hit your home and you got
right.
But the good news, it's going to get them eventually too. I'm telling you, look, it's a great, climate change is that thing that is the great equalizer. I mean, people could play all they want to, but like, and it's going to get their kids too. Right. I like Donald Trump talking about climate change as a hoax. Dude, your grandchildren are going to die from climate change if y'all don't change something that's going on right now. I don't care how rich you are not going to, your generations behind you are not going to survive this. And so, hey, they can do what they want to do right now. Their kids are going to be right along with all the rest of our kids dying in a hellscape that they created. And all I'm going to do is, if I'm alive still, I'm going to be like, blame your mama, blame your daddy and them. They wanted to call it a hoax.
But he's not going to care.
Yeah,
that orange man is not going to care. Yeah. He don't care about himself right now in the moment.
Climate change is the whole wildfires in Manhattan in November.
Bruh.
I can't. How is that? Like, why is that not bigger news? Why, like, they don't care anymore. Now they want to go ahead.
I don't mean you asked why is it not bigger news. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever heard it explained as good as you just explained it, though. We look at it like a TikTok video, and then when it comes to us, the other person looks at it like a TikTok video, and nobody is helping anybody because we all are just scrolling through, seeing the disaster, and then moving on. I've never heard it explained that well, Rebecca, but that's literally the trap that we're stuck in right now.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
If it's longer than 2 minutes, then nobody cares about it.
Yeah, and it sucks because we're not telling you to consume a long form video about us talking about the way that we get ready in the morning. We're talking about things that are happening in our day to day that's going to possibly affect you, not being able to make that video about how you get ready in the morning. So please understand that these are the important things that it may not. When I was younger and I was watching these videos about people literally saying take it seriously, and videos counteracting, and I'm talking about commercials when I say videos, commercials counteracting that same person who made the video telling you, hey, please, global, what was it called? Climate change, but they were calling it something else at that time in the beginning. And they were saying, please take it seriously, global warming. And they're like, these people are crazy. They're psychos. These are not real scientists who are saying this. I remember like it was yesterday. I'm older now. I don't have any kids, but I have nieces. I have nephews who actually live in some of these spaces that are affected. And here we are having these conversations now, knowing that the media has not done a great job in helping us understand the facts. There's a lot of fear mongering about the wrong things. And there's a lot of help in pushing out misinformation because you can make money from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they don't want us to, and I know David wants to jump in there. I think if the media actually did what the media was supposed to do, then we would have fixed this already because the masses would have stood up together. That's why they own the media. That's why you have Sinclair Broadcasting. They all say the same exact talking point all day long, and their job is to compartmentalize this. I remember Hurricane Milton when was it Milton in North Carolina just a few months ago, and 200 people were killed, flooding. I mean, it was devastating. But down here in this other state, they gave it a 2-second bit, and then they moved on to some holiday news. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me if we're going to just dismiss what's going on another side of this country that could and will happen to us with just a 5-second soundbite, and then they close it up, they compartmentalize it for you so that you can keep going like business as usual, and you can go to work and you can go spend your money and you can go to the mall. That's what they do to us.
Absolutely. David, you want to chime in before you forget?
Yeah, I hope the wind that's coming through my window isn't coming through the mic. But two things. First of all, they were just showing a picture of a firefighter that I guess died while fighting the fire, and it made me think about the fact that a lot of the people on the front lines, they're actually inmates, prison, jail. That like it's free. Well, not. Sometimes it's I think it's unpaid, and if it's not unpaid, it might as well be unpaid because of the pennies that they pay. But what I was actually going to say is that as far as the 2-minute clips and the interest and all that, we're being distracted, and it's intentional. Like when you see all these wedge issues being inserted, there wasn't really any talk about the climate during the election. It was wokeness, which is really just code for LGBTQ, and then it was immigration and the economy, and everyone just wants to vote for someone that's going to make their pockets better, which isn't the actual, that's not the core of the presidency. So we're not really voting on issues, and we're not paying attention to real things. We're being distracted.
Exactly. We are all being distracted, but it's interesting that you put out that the people who are doing the work of a firefighter, it's free labor by inmates and who don't get paid to do this stuff. And, it's sad because, again, all the time, it just goes back to the people who get affected the most, Bubba, your camera, the people who get affected the most are Black and brown people. Black folks are going to be why, right? Here we got a whole wildfires coming through, and Black folks on dying on the front lines.
Yeah. And I think what it is though is we really didn't. I don't know. It takes a minute to come to terms with the fact that you live inside of the most evil regime in the history of humanity. There's really nothing more evil than what is running America, what's running society right now, right? Because they know this is happening. They don't care. In fact, they will spend billions of dollars to make sure that the people aren't aware of it, just so that they can get their next quarterly profit margins. I mean, you don't get sicker than that. You don't get more evil than that to see billions of people potentially die because you got to make next month's quarterly profit margins so you can get the next yacht. Like, some of these people really deserve to be in hell sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. And I think that we, hold on. You said, see the comment on the screen. CAL FIRE pays the inmates firefighters, but they only get pennies once the state takes their cuts.
Wow. Slavery.
Being a firefighter is like, to me, you have to have a certain kind of training before you do that. Like, that's you, police officer, they train these people for 3 days, and then people come out, swear they up and down that they had the best training in the world, military style training, and go out and just shoot out everybody. I feel like what they believe they are, firefighters, are actually ones that go through this extensive training and they become firefighters. But y'all just got inmates that y'all had out there just like, listen, put on a fire suit, fight fire,
like
this water hose.
Get a water hose, get in there, save whatever you can, but put your life on the line because you are in here for weed charges, or you are in it for whatever. And slavery, the system is a mess. And global warming, somebody's mic is giving feedback. Global warming is literally something that is affecting everybody. But here we see again how Black folks get the shorter end of the stick worldwide, right? Worldwide. And the countries that are the underdeveloped countries got nothing to really do. They're small percentage, if any, with what's happening when it comes to climate change. Yet they're going to be the ones that suffer the most. While these people are talking about the resources that they can use to battle it out, guess who are mining those resources in their countries?
Right.
Yeah.
Black.
And no, that training literally takes months, at least 6 months for you to be a full-fledged firefighter. Well, I know somebody I know recently was invited to join the class and start doing the training. So for y'all just to go in prison, just pull these people out and say, here, get on the front line, you're going to fight fires. What do y'all think is going to happen when we have the next war? If the next war does happen, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to get these inmates and send them overseas to fight these wars.
Look, that's what you literally.
That's what he said.
That's literally what's happening. Vladimir Putin literally just took the prisoners out of his prisons. I just saw a video of a guy who just got convicted of raping an 8-year-old, no less. And they took him straight from the courtroom and sent him right to the front lines in Ukraine. So they're already doing it. And you know how much Donald Trump loves Vladimir Putin. So, of course, they're going to start doing that here.
I'm not shocked because I know that the way that Donald Trump is moving, and his first order of action is to use military funds and forces to get the immigrants out. I wouldn't be shocked if something like that would happen too, for him to be like, yeah, let's get the nigglets in prison and put them on the front line. You know, let's go ahead and do that.
Listen, don't use that one again. Only reason because, like, Lord, because sometimes I use that around the house.
Your kids?
I refuse to do it because that's one word I don't want them white folks to get. If they start using that, so
they probably already do.
They probably already do.
Oh no, man! I had to go to jail. They start using that one, man. Come on.
I probably got it from them. They're online right now in my peaceful space on Threads and saying, can you guys please explain to me without being rude why y'all use, and they ain't say y'all because that's me. Why do you guys use finna? Can you guys explain to me without being rude why y'all say, they didn't say y'all because that's me. Why do you guys say I be?
Because it's more efficient. Let's be real, man. Ebonics is the African American vernacular English is a more efficient usage of words and syllables. Y'all be making it too.
Who got time to be finishing a whole sentence when I'm trying to talk to somebody?
Right. When I can cut that thing down, if I can say it in 3 syllables and you say it in 8, who really the smarter one?
And I got a video that I think it's gonna lighten up the mood, first of all. And it's going to actually y'all gotta see it. This man, his name is, I believe it's Sean Show. But I want you guys to see this. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you, David. But yes, they are coming after, the wokeness. We're DEI. DEI is the N word.
No, it's woke too. It's woke too.
Mm-hmm. Well, it started off as woke, but I ain't gonna lie to you, and y'all can take offense if y'all want to. It started off as woke, and then it went because the liberal whites had attacked it and took it on, and woke was supposed to be a black person that now understands what the hell the system is doing. Next thing you know, white liberals done got to it, which love you, mean it. They done got to it and thought that meant that that makes them allies. And then all marginalized issues became woke issues because the right now got to it. And now it's everything racist, everything that has to do with LGBTQIA+, everything that has to do with immigrants, everything that actually is just law that makes sense. It's you being woke. But DEI is not even adjacent or around the corner to. It is equal to the ER. Absolutely.
That part.
But let me get this link.
We just clacking away. What we got next?
I got it. Look, I feel so old. I'm trying to share this.
Y'all hear me when I do that?
Yes, you sound like somebody. You sound like my agents. I'm like, girl. I was like, okay, thank you for calling such and such.
All right, I know next time
I'm like, damn, girl, what you typing?
Here we go. God, I finally got it, y'all. I was feeling old. I'm dropping it in the text message. I could not find that copy and paste link, y'all, because I said, now where they putting the 3 dots now? Now what? It's not there. They just changing all the functionalities on these different apps and where to put stuff. Y'all can't.
You sound old.
Now change it on auntie. I don't know where to find it. Right, I sent it in yeah, there it is. Sorry, David. It's in the our text message. But anywho, in this clip, you're gonna see this man, and I want to say his name is Sun Michaud. Sun Michaud.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, he is somebody who gets online and he checks people
about
language. Yes, about language. And I think that he is an expert when it comes to AAVE. And he gets our own people together. And in this video, they asked about IB, and there's a woman who was Black who also tried to say it ain't what it is. But here we can see him break it down. It gave me like an episode of watching The Reading Rainbow, but in a 2024 version. And I felt like I learned something, and I also felt encouraged to continue to speak how I speak. Let's take a listen.
He is not a part of a linking verb. Remove it.
Peace. Imagine walking into a kitchen where someone has the following ingredients laid out on the counter: flour, sugar, eggs, milk, salt, a little vanilla extract, maybe some baking powder, and some oil on the side for good measure. And telling that person that the only proper way to prepare those ingredients is to mix them up in a bowl, pour them into a pan, and bake it in the oven to make a cake. That is what you could do with those ingredients. But the wrong part kicks in when you say that that's the only proper way to prepare those ingredients. Because you could also pour the same ingredients into a muffin pan and make muffins, or put it into a frying pan on the stovetop and make pancakes, or waffles, make biscuits, bread, croissant. Y'all like that? There are lots of things that you can make with those common ingredients other than cake. And having all those ingredients in common does not make society see the end product as all the same. You can even put something sweet on top of a stack of flapjacks like you do cake. But we do not typically eat cake for breakfast or cut flapjacks at weddings or birthday parties. And society treats them very differently depending on social context and what they have a taste for. For example,
if you are saying I be this, stop. There is no such language.
Wrong. But it could be right with just one caveat. Simply say that you are referring to standard American English, academic English, or formal English. And note that formal English is not the only form of English. And in those other forms of English, African American English, Black English, Creolized English throughout the Black diaspora, Hiberno English in Ireland, we do use the uninflected B, habitual B, also known as the invariant B. So by all means, apply your standard American English rules to standard American English. But just remember, standard American English is just yet another form of English. The same way that y'all complain about African Americans corrupting American English, the British can accuse y'all of corrupting English. So whatever you say about us also applies to you, because you don't get to have your cake and eat it too.
Amen.
He did that. I said... I felt like I was watching Reading Rainbow because when he read them was crazy.
Did she have an accent though? Was she British?
No, she was just Black, I think. I remember seeing that clip as well too, and I'm just like, girl, who are you?
Listen,
now
I'm a person who spends quite a bit of time working on my diction, how I speak, because when I was a kid, I really just couldn't speak. I slurred everything, and so I worked really hard. And I'm very, very, very familiar with the King's English, not just because of school and studying, but also because the King James Bible, right? B is such a useful word when you place it the way Black folks place it. I don't care. It doesn't matter how much I try. It is just something far more efficient about placing B where we place B when we feel like placing B. It just makes more sense. Y'all might not like it, but it doesn't mean it's not more efficient and more useful. And then to hear a Black person say that, like, she absolutely knows. She grew up saying that. She's just ashamed.
Absolutely.
The way she wanted to get it.
And I know where to use it and I know where not to use it. Like for me, I'm okay with not shape shifting per se, because I'm still going to have my accent. There are times you will hear so many different accents come out of my mouth because I am just a lot of things. But I do understand, like when I'm with the girls, oh baby, you are not going to constantly hear me speaking the journalistic English. You're not gonna hear that from me. You're going to hear me being like, girl, and then Lil Feet came over and girl, I had to know because I be telling them like, yes,
I'll be telling them
conversation, and it's active and it's prominent and it's provocative and it gets the people going, especially especially in storytelling. If I just come out to my friends to be like, yeah, and then Josh. I told them that no, baby. When I say, girl, I be telling them, don't come over my house like that. You see, I love being Black. Okay, I love it because we can say that there's colorfulness here. We can look across the room and give each other all the looks in the world, and white folks will not be able to decode it. However, I can decode a white face in any room at any time. I know you just what you just called me, Karen. I know, Billy, what you really wanted to say when you gave me the no lip smile. I know what you were saying when you did that. You see? So please, online, let us speak the way we speak. We cannot, Americans get away with creating lies and then saying that that's the truth. That's always been the history here. That's always been how they got down when it comes to language, style, when it comes to buildings, when it comes to finances, when it comes to they literally just say this thing, which is a lie, put it out there and expect us to go with it and believe it. And guess what? Because of their confidence on their lie, people still go with it.
You preach.
I will take nothing from the space of people who have been told that their Blackness isn't good enough, and it makes them unqualified. It makes them ignorant when sometimes they're the most knowledgeable people that I know. People who speak with AAVA.
Sometimes we just want to do it just because we can.
Because we can.
Just because we know how to finesse it in a way that they sound ridiculous when they try to do it.
And online every day, you'll hear white folks just. I remember when this, even though this is something that we've always said, but because we're in an online space, it goes everywhere and to everyone. We'll be like, girl, not you wearing that outfit. And then when that show came out on Netflix, about not this season that just passed, but the love show where they're in the pods, Love is Blind. And it was, I think, 2 years ago, I want to say. That season, they were on there, and every white person that know their parents voted for Trump, and so did they, that know that they live on acres and acres of land that probably should have been given to one of the Black people that deserved it back in the day. They kept saying, girl, not him saying, not you looking like a baddie. Oh my God. Like, and it was pissing me off because it's not meant to be spoken with that accent.
It's not the same.
From the mouth of the non-melanated. Okay?
It don't hit the same.
Which is meant. Rebecca, which is super, super duper weird because the woman in the clip of Someone True, I can't pronounce his, I don't know how to pronounce his name, was a Black woman complaining about it, but we see on a regular basis the co-option of our Ebonics, of our AAVE, by all things white. Every commercial, everybody, every rapper, every singer, every storyline. Now, how is it that they're gonna see the value? They're gonna see the value of it on that side of the aisle, but then we got Black folks on our side of the aisle who are offended by it. Y'all get out of here, man.
It sells. It sells. And it's funny because usually like the gay Black will be the one to bring out some of these words and give it what it needs to get, like girl, shady boots, or whatever the case may be.
Ooh,
and
girl,
then
the shade is real, honey.
Okay, and we grab it, and then black women, we got it. We're here with it. Okay, and next thing you know, I hear the non-melanated people of the LGBTQIA faith as well. Look, they also be taking it, and I'm like, no, that belongs to the gay Black folks. That belongs to the LGBTQIA Black people, and then they'll take it, and then it's just like, I just want to tell you guys, like the complaints when white folks have these type of accents, it seems cool, especially on this Haitian page. They always repost white people doing Haitian things. When everyday Haitians are doing the Haitian thing, it's not great. But when a white person puts on a Haitian flag and does compa offbeat, stepping on people's feet, can't even say the words right, this is a viral video. They're going to the restaurants to eat the food and saying, "Oh, manger réellement bon," and it's like, you never will go back to this restaurant. Yet the people that are doing like really that are Haitian, that are going and honing in on our culture and making sure that the culture thrives enough for their next generation of kids, even if they're born in America, they are not that's not considered good news. That's not considered news. But when somebody else comes in and tries to act like they F with the culture and they really don't, that's what makes it such this big thing. So while these people are saying, why do people say this? Listen, Granny, that somebody made their Threads page for them or their TikTok page or their Facebook page. Now you want to get into people's comment sections and ask about these phrases and stuff that y'all have heard y'all whole entire lives, because I can watch old things and I hear Black people, especially in the 60s and the 50s, Black people spoke with this, and it sounded better than regular white folks speaking English. Black people spoke with this way that made them feel like old money, like green, like they wore pearls, like they wore satin when they sleep. Like that's how I loved it. It just gave rich, and they still had this effervescence of Blackness. It was still collard greens in the vocals. It was still neck bones. I just made that yesterday. It was still neck bones. Okay. I did. I just said, let me make me a Black American meal, and it was real good. It was still neck bones in the conversations, because even in the movies that we watched with like people like Eartha Kitt and what's that lady's name? Naomi, not Campbell, but she also has a similar accent because she's from over there. But these Black women that are actors and activists, we heard their tone. It was very rich, but they pushed them the right way, baby. It was not who the hell you talking to, and it was still beautiful. It was still beautiful.
Sidney Poitier.
Okay,
I love that man, bro. Oh my god,
yeah.
That tone and that vernacular, how he used to talk, is just like I love it.
I love it.
I mean,
like
there's
such prominence.
There's a beauty to it, and it's. I hate to call it code switching because that's kind
I
of.
mean, it is what it is. I know now they're trying to act like, oh, don't code switch. I might be a little old school with that one because there are going to be places where I'm in the room.
Yeah,
my Black tone will never change. The tone of voice, I always know when a Black person is speaking because our tone, something about Blackness, is right up in there. But I know when when I'm in the church, there's gonna be a way that I speak. I'm not gonna go in there and be all whatever. When I'm presenting in my videos, there's gonna be a way that I speak. You may see me slip in and out because whatever, but there are ways that I go places where it's not that these are parts of me. I don't want to say it's code switching. These are parts of me. There's a way that I am with my man when he calls my phone. I don't have a man right now, but when I did, when there's a way that I am with my man when he calls my phone, baby, I'm giving, hey, how are you? How are you doing? Get crazy. And as soon as I get off the phone, I'll be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even give it that's me. I give hood man when I'm not on the phone. But when my man calls me, I give princess trapped in a castle and in need saving.
I can't stand you.
Okay.
I'd be like, the hardest one for me to because again, I grew up in Mississippi, so everything was slurred, everything was Ebonics, everything was just what we were. The hardest thing for me was to learn how to say "How are you" versus "How you doing." I literally had to sit down with a sheet of paper and how are you? How are you? Because when I went to college, everybody was like, "Hey, Benjamin, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?"
What kind of school too?
How you doing?
How you doing? I like fewer syllables. If I can say it with fewer syllables, then why would I?
But you're also somebody that puts the W in front of, you what?
Yes.
You are that. And I think that's a Southern thing too. I think it's beautiful. I also think with Black folks, we're not a monolith. While we all have these ways of utilizing the words and placing them, whatever, you can hear somebody from New York and say I be. You can hear somebody from a Black person from the South, Alabama, and say I be. Different accents, different cadence, but we know, right? That's what I love about Blackness. We in the Caribbean, you got Jamaicans. I think Haitians have the most different accent in the Caribbean, but you got the Jamaicans. I love their accent. You got the Haitians. I love our accent, right? It's hilarious because we know what we're trying to say. We know it. We know the culture effectively is similar, but different accents. And I love that about our Blackness. White folks just look at us and put us in one pot. Meanwhile, we can see somebody in another country, and a white country at that. You can see somebody from another country that's Black. They may be African, you from Alabama, you Black American. Y'all see each other and y'all see whiteness happening around you. All y'all gotta do is look at each other and be like,
and that's it. It's universal.
I love that for us. And
I was sending with that video.
Some white people are upset because they can't get in the club. They can't decode. They can't do that. What B say? What happened? Slipping into Black voice is a common pitfall for queer white people who want to be sassy.
It is.
I've trained myself to call upon my own ancestors and go full Valley girl. And listen,
I love that.
I love a Valley girl accent, right? I love it so much. I like for people to be who they are. Some people have country accents. I love they don't got this old New York accent, that old white lady New York accent no more, that old Boston accent. They don't have it no more. Then everybody online talking the same, right? They did away with the nanny's accent. They did away with it. We don't hear that no more. We don't hear from the Golden Girls, that granny that was on there. That lady's mama, I forgot the lady's mama, but that granny that was on there, they don't have those accents no more. The girls don't have it no more, B. The white girls ain't got it no more. And I'm like, it's because they too busy trying to do what that girl did when she was singing the national anthem at the Free and Liberal.
Can I start over? We're live.
I thought she was black or black adjacent. She's white. And I saw her speaking in her whiteness. And all of a sudden, she online telling people, yeah. Y'all want to purchase this? Yeah. And I'm like, see, it's doing too much. And that's why you sang the national anthem incorrectly. Our ancestors made sure they stepped on every toe you had.
And it's funny. I saw a clip of her talking. It's like, yeah, I thought it was live, and I didn't know because he said that we're gonna do this one take.
Baby.
Like, girl, you don't talk like that, girl. Shut the hell up.
No, because I thought before she deleted all her videos. I said, yes, Catch Me Outside Girl is very similar. But before this girl, her name is Lumi, before she deleted every video, I already was on it and I should have screenshotted. I went through every old video she had and she presented as white. She presented as white. And then immediately over the pandemic, moved into presenting as a black person. And they gave her a do-over?
No, hell no.
Oh. Y'all know, listen, the video was on my TikTok and it's at 9 million. People love mess.
Damn.
People love mess. 9 million views.
Oh my gosh. That lady, that was funny. That was
the debate itself was funny. Nobody knew about this debate until this. Nobody knew this went on. Nobody knew this was a thing. Nobody knew this was even nobody knew that this was something that they should have been watching. This girl actually made it, and she's an older woman that's presenting as a young woman as well, because I went through that as well on her.
Dang.
I went through all of it. She deleted every sign of it. So she's a songwriter, originally a songwriter, and she started presenting as black. I don't know why, but to get money. And
everybody they talking about unmuted.
Let me hear what she said.
Yeah,
David, run that back. I want to hear that.
Embarrassing. Horrid. Go just 2 social media comments.
I got too nervous. This was my biggest fear.
I caught up with the singer who says butterflies got the best of her.
I wasn't thinking, first off. I was so nervous.
Why?
But no,
why were you so nervous?
This has been my biggest fear since I was a little girl. I don't know what it was about the national anthem that I was like so nervous. I ended up saying a bad word, and I'm sorry for that.
So what was the reaction in the room afterwards?
I ran out.
Now Loomis is ready for a do-over.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in there.
Loomis says she hoped.
They wrong for that.
Why white folks got to do the hand thing too? Like, girl, put your hand down.
That's not how she was talking on those other clips, though, right?
No, I'm gonna find it. I'm going to find her Instagram right now because she played.
It's giving the I can't think of the girl from Disney that was super ghetto for a second, and then all of a sudden she changed.
Here we go.
Her dad sang Old Town Road with
you talking about Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus was, remember she had her real black period, and then all of a sudden
she did.
Atlanta music.
That's what that's giving.
Yep.
She went through her phase.
She deleted all her little here we go.
We can't see that.
Becca, you gotta put your hand behind it like that.
Oh, there it is. It cleared up. Crank it up. We can't hear it.
You hear that black? You hear that black scent?
Nuh-uh. We don't hear that.
Okay. Y'all gotta go on her page. It's Loomis. She deleted a lot of things on her page that showed her like she was in her home, like showing off. Let me show y'all what she got me today. Like it was, and I was like, girl, I just saw your 2012 video. You were in boots, a little bikini top, riding with the like you were doing a Western look. I don't see. It's okay. I don't like when white people take on blackness and then throw it away, because that's what Miley Cyrus did, and she got away with it. We let her in, and she got away with it.
Who's that rapper who now singing country music? He came over and made all that money being, rapping like he was a black guy. Now he going back to his white culture roots. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Post Malone.
Is it Post Malone? He doing country now?
He is doing country and has got nominated for several things. Yeah, but I mean, it's a few of them that have done that as well. So, but Post Malone is one of the most recent ones.
David, she's not Latinx. She said on her page before she deleted it, it said she was Sicilian, and before that, I went back in
White
time.
girl.
On the morning, she's white. She's white.
She didn't have to delete her stuff though. Right?
Yeah, no, she deleted it immediately. She deleted it immediately after. And I got 9 million on that. People are messy. If I read the comments on that TikTok video, they are like, wow, they just let anybody sing the national anthem in your country. They're going crazy. And it's crazy. Anywho, speaking of what did no, you guys just said something and I was going to take it somewhere. What was the last conversation that we just had just now?
About country music. Something about.
Speaking of country music.
You going to go there?
Talking about how they exclude Black people.
Let's go there.
But they exclude Black people.
Go there.
The latest award show, the Country Music Awards, okay? Which we know white people like to claim that genre of country music, although historically we know that Black people pioneered country music.
Yep.
And if I'm just saying that's a simple Google search for you. Find it. Many artists are responsible who are Black for country music and its inception. However, this recent Country Music Award show, we know that Beyonce, they didn't want to nominate her. They didn't want to give her anything. Meanwhile, she actually put country music on the map globally. Go ahead, Bubba.
I was just about to say, and she was just found this out yesterday. They actually invited her to the damn show and didn't nominate her for anything. But continue, Becca. I'm gonna let you finish.
And this is also the same people that did not want to put her music on the country radio. They actually boycotted that. And mind you, Beyonce did not create. There are great artists who are, and I'm going to say this, better than Beyonce in country music, but she actually opened the door for them to look at them Black artists that they have been overlooking. She put them on her album, she did all those things. One of those people being artist Shabuzi.
Take me out this
Shabuzi, who that's his actual name, last name, and he had to pronounce it differently because he's African. And he had to pronounce it differently for the whites and everybody else in the world, us, to get. And they made sure he did not get any award. There's a viral clip going around, and please, David, if you can find this for me, when they were giving the award to a country artist, and the country music singers who were presenting the award to the guy that won mentioned, basically stated that Shabuzi, this artist has been better than Shabuzi for a long time.
Yeah.
And basically stepping on people's necks, like stepping on Shabuzi's neck. And, he's better than Shabuzi. So basically Shabuzi should not even be in the conversation. Right? And I want to say that this artist actually redid a Black person song, but we'll go there when we go there. But I just want you to know, at this award show, this award show is starting to get more racist. Before they used to think that it was a whites only club, and now they're like, F it, we'll be racist right here on the stage because Donald Trump just won.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump's, every single thing about Donald Trump's rallies has brought out your doctor, your nurse, your mechanic, your lawyer, your mailman. All of their racism is now on literally front face. They're not hiding it anymore. You're not the good Black friend anymore. They're just like, look at you and your people. And they're okay. Here's your mail. Hey, let me go ahead and pull this tooth. This is Black people never have no teeth in the bag. Here you go. Here's your bill. Listen, Black people, they're never really going to get off on these cases. I'll cover it I'll try to get you out as best as I can, but I have a white person who just murdered 10 people down the road. That's a bigger case for me to focus on. And I can get them out. Yep. This is what Donald Trump has brought out. Now they at the Country Music Awards show on stage, which is different than the BET Awards, where Taraji was telling folks, please be advised of Project 2025. They at the Country Music Awards telling folks Shabuzi didn't deserve to be there, didn't deserve the seat at the table, didn't deserve to even go against this white boy who was probably mediocre compared to Shabuzi's music. a black man with dreads who's born from immigrant parents who are, I believe, from Nigeria, or I think it's Ghana. Either way, he's African. And here we go.
Yep, David.
Here we go in this position where they will not accept the talent of this brother and compare it. And I don't want to say that the artist is mediocre, but compare it to work that we've heard before.
Exactly. And a single, I'm about to say a single that spent several weeks on the charts at number 1, and y'all gave it to somebody else. And at that point, this man shouldn't have got snubbed for any award that he was nominated for. Shabuzi should have won.
And it's okay.
For every award.
It's okay. Let me tell you this. It's okay that Shabuzi may not have got the award. It was, for me, the comment, because I didn't expect, but the commentary on that microphone in front of everybody.
National televised show.
Y'all got that clip? You trying to find it? Because
I'm filibustering.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if I need to get angry like this.
Is this the clip?
I don't. Yeah. It's kind of like talking about the whole story. I don't know if it captures exactly what you wanted, but we'll see.
Okay.
Shabuzi is keeping it classy after some online believe he was shaded at the CMAs. It was by country star Cody Johnson's producer Trent Willman during the acceptance speech for Album of the Year.
This is for this cowboy who's been kicking Shabuzi for a lot of years, y'all. Cody Johnson.
Not one to take things to heart, Shabuzi took to X with a selfie and a caption that read, "Ain't nobody kicking me."
Hey, we're gonna get the strike.
The bar sung Tipsy has sat atop the all-genre Billboard Hot 100 for 18 non-consecutive weeks.
18.
He's currently 1 week away from setting a new record and has also made history as the first black man to top the Hot Country Songs chart. Though fans are saying he was snubbed at the CMAs, he's still in the award hunt this season as he's nominated for 5 Grammys in 2025 for Best Country Song, Best Country Solo Performance, and Song of the Year. Shabuzi is also up for Best New Artist and Best Melodic Rap Performance for his collaboration with Beyonce and Linda Martell on Spaghetti. So as they say, it's on to the next one. The good news is we're looking forward to seeing Shabuzi at the Grammys on February 2nd.
Amen.
I also hear what the white man said. What
he basically been kicking Shabuzi for these years, right? And somebody white from the country area actually broke it down in 3 parts. Basically said kicking Shabuzi, meaning that anything that Shabuzi came out with, this artist has been beating this for years. Shabuzi just came out, which is not true. Shabuzi has been doing this. Beyonce just helped propel what he's already been doing. Like she did with other artists like Tanner Adele and other country singers on this album. Beyonce, I feel like, understood she ain't no country singer, but there are country singers who are overlooked. Created this album and featured so many country black singers on there and helped them get a lot of eyes and a lot of looks. And a lot of these country artists can say, I've been singing country music. Thank you to Beyonce for putting me in a position where people can see me, because the country music awards and the country music industry purposely make sure that black people aren't a part of the conversation. But here's another view of what was said. So you can hear it. And somebody broke it down to me and they said it in 3 parts. I wish I could go find it, but let's take a listen from this point of view.
It takes an army of people to make a great record, but I got to tell you, this is for this cowboy who's been kicking Shabuzi for a lot of years, y'all. Cody Johnson.
So let's start with the army. He said the comment about the army. A white person said that in their space, they talk about Beyonce's beehive. And so it takes an army outside of her beehive. Like that army can't bring no country artist out of nowhere into this whole thing. Our army of people have built country music artists, and then went on to analyze the other part of it about the Shabuzi comment and said been kicking Shabuzi for a lot of years. Shabuzi just came out in the public eye again, but been doing this. And I feel like it said we've been kicking ERs out of our white boys club for a lot of years. And this talent will stay the way it does, preserved in its whiteness. And we will never let anybody in and win over our white boy.
The funny thing about it is, though, Shabuzi is breaking the records.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one still atop the billboards, which means he's going to get more spins. He's getting more. I bet you at every hole in the wall across Georgia, they play that by the end of the night, and they're going to be dancing into it. So he's going to get royalties off of it. Man, going to make more money off of it than whatever this album of the year was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the country music album of the years, he going to be plenty rich, but they can give that award to him and he can insult the man all he wants. He can't take away the accomplishment and the achievement and the royalties and the awards. I mean, that really just speaks to me. It really just shows the fact that America on no level at all has ever been a meritocracy where your qualifications actually put you above the rest. It's always been a boys club. It's always been a club for mediocre white men.
Always.
And again, Cody Johnson, I'm just looking at his music. He gets away with a lot of covers too, covering a lot of songs that are already country songs, which is fine. I have no problem with Cody Johnson. I have no problem with country music. But as you accepted your award, he's in the background of that video. With my camera going off, he's in the background of the video looking like, y'all right. Look, them white boys are coming to protect. It just gives in my mind how a white man could do something to a black person and white police show up to the scene and they protect the white person, and the black person ain't even in the room or ain't even around, but they're gonna go find you to protect this white person and make sure this white person look you in your eyes, even though I feel like Cody could have said something and said, you know what, shout out to Shabuzi, great year, great whatever, but it still gave, you better not say anything and let us speak for you because this is our white boys club. This is our KKK.
Yep. That's what it looked like. Y'all, I'm over here. I've been the whole time because I mean I'm with y'all, but that habitual B conversation, that thing's sticking with me because it's just it all seems it connects to this in the sense of how we're told our stuff is lesser, right? Just like Shabuzi, they're trying to make it seem like his work is lesser because he doesn't come through the regular ranks of country music. They tell us the same thing about our language, right? But in reality, I'm just over here studying it as we were talking. The AAVE is not only more efficient, right? Ebonics is not only more efficient, but it has a way of communicating more with less, right? It has a way of saying more and doing more and carrying more information, and it resonates in our brain. Like it literally makes more sense, not just because we're used to talking like that, but because to say it in the proper way. And that's the whole thing, right? There are these proper systems. There's a proper way to become a country music star. There's a proper way to do all these things. And then the funniest thing about it is even the music, even country music, even everything in this country is borrowed from somewhere else. And so for us to elevate it and say that this is the proper way, or this is the way you should have came through, or this is the way you should have said it, that who's to say that? Who made that rule? Because y'all stole it from somewhere else to begin with. Everything in this country is something that was taken from somewhere else. And I love the video that you played way back of dude who said even American English is broken English from British English, right? And same thing. And so, but all the while they're telling us that our stuff is lesser, when in reality, what we have and what we do and what we give the world is always more. And the way we know that is not by awards. My brother didn't get that award, but you know what? Everybody's listening to his song. Everybody's going to be, every club, every country club going to be playing his song. And so at the end of the day, while they're telling us we're lesser, what we offer has always been more. I hope I filibustered enough for you to get back. Okay, there you go.
No, I love that. We know that about ourselves. In America, right? We're not a predominantly Black country. We have predominantly Black little areas compared to the rest of the country. You would think that we're taking over America, but that's how much we had to learn to start loving on ourselves. And when we build things that are Black centered, I was just looking at the problem that integration created for Black athletes at HBCUs, because Black athletes at HBCUs, when they couldn't go to no other schools, were actually the star of they were beating every other school, colleges, and everything like that. And now we see the difference when these Black athletes are told to go to these white schools in order to make it to the NFL. And I have a friend named Kevin Elliott, shout out to Kevin Elliott, who's stuck at Florida A&M University. I ended up going to the NFL. And that was a choice that he made. He could have went off to any other college. I have friends from high school who went off to super white colleges and did not make it to the NFL. And to know that what they try to do is make it seem like going to this white school will give you opportunity, yet it's not going to build your mind. That black school, that black environment, it protects you. You are brought in, your skills are honed in on, not only for sport. I'll never forget, because they always try to make it feel like blackness is always less. I always tell this story, and if I told it a million times, I'm sorry, but this is very important, because when it comes to, when my Haitian daddy done drove me to Tallahassee, Florida for my dropping me off for my first day at FAMU, we didn't know where or this was for orientation. We didn't know where the college was. We get there, we're asking everyone. We were on the other side of the train tracks at the time. We kept stopping to say, do y'all know where Florida A&M University is? They're like, what? And if you've ever been to Tallahassee, if you know that reaction is absurd. But they're like, no, I don't know. Older white people, no, I don't know that school. I'm looking at FSU and I'm like, where? Baby, across the train tracks was Florida A&M University. Mm-hmm. Right across the train tracks was Florida A&M University. I remember when I was in high school and they took us to Tallahassee. That's when I made my choice to go to the school. When they took us to Tallahassee and they took us on a, what do they call those things where the kids go and look at the schools tour?
Oh, the college tour, yeah.
Tour. Went to the college tour. They took us to FSU first. FSU, let me tell you where they took our black behinds. They took us to the stadium, or the field, the football field. And we sat there for an hour and a half. None of the tour guides spoke with our black behinds. None of the tour guides spoke to us and asked us what we are interested in. They said, this is what you can look forward to. That's what they said to us. We took a break and went to FAMU. FAMU planned 4 to 6 hours of the day for us, as if we were at the school. We were students already at the school. They came in, they did a little party for us, music on the set. They separated us into groups. They had us do sit-ins within the classroom. They had the teachers call on us as if we were students within the classroom to show us what that would look like. And they took us out. They walked us across these historical places that things were happening. They brought us to different parts of the school where they were teaching. I think they just opened the pharmacy school. They were bringing us there. They brought us to Lee Hall and played tapes of other past students and professors and their experiences. They sat us with other students who were telling us about their current experience. They sat us with alumni. They told us about how crazy it's going to get for administration admissions when we go in there and try to get our money. They went over a lot of different things for us, and they told us the importance of going to this school, not only because they're Black, but the importance of why we're going to learn to accept and love ourselves outside of going to the school when it's time for us to be in the real world. We're not just a stadium or people who seek out to be football players. And if we did, we also can have that at our own universities that we created because they didn't want us at their schools. And now we're the meal ticket for your football teams. Now we're what you want, right? So I said to say, Ben, you made that comment where they wanted to make us feel like our Blackness was lesser, like our Blackness doesn't have any value. We've been saying that before I was born, you heard this type of rhetoric.
Yeah.
I'm a product of immigrants, Haitian ones. They were saying this type of rhetoric in our music because of the people who colonized us. And because we done got dropped off over there. And they didn't even colonize us. They colonized the indigenous people there, mixed us with the indigenous people. And we had to fight, mix with the indigenous people that we could, before they killed them all off, and create our own language. The reason why people be like, oh, you speak French? I don't. My family does. As I understand, I speak Haitian Creole, which is a language that we created because we a rebellious act against our colonizers. It has African dialect in it. We have French, of course, influence. We have Hispanic influence within the language. And we jumbled that together and said, we got to make something for us. They took us away. It took our languages away. It took all these things from us. And we did that. Blackness is beautiful in every which way. White people, for some reason, will give you mediocre and say, this is the way. They will steal the formula, steal it from Blackness or anything minority. They will steal it from that and say that they came up with it.
Remember that Jimmy Kimmel, the TikTok girl dancing, and
with
then
the renegade.
They took it to Jimmy Kimmel, and she got rich and famous, even more rich and even more famous off of it. Even that young sister in the wind, but
the white girl
had nothing. Just like, why are you even on TV trying to replicate this kind of thing?
Yeah,
it happens every day.
It happens every day, even in the work that we do here. You think people are not watching just because I got 5 people on my channel? I'm just kidding. I got like 50 over here. But you think people aren't watching? People are actually watching. And next thing you know, this is how they're not really for the cause, but they will come on, take your talking point, put it on their channels. And because it's white, it's just like I said, I don't know why that is, but because it's white content, it flows more, it looks better, it's valuable. That's what they sell. And the truth is, you know, I love our show, our product, because it's Black voices that can look at issues and tell you why this is going to affect the Black person more. And at the same time, tell you how amazing Blackness is, because you got somebody who represents the LGBTQIA community. You have somebody who's in the church, but also somebody who is from an academic perspective, who knows a lot of things, Benjamin P. Dixon. You got somebody who was a product of immigrants. And also, you know, now we can all agree on being HBCU affiliates and grads. We can all say that. But we're not a Blackness is not a monolith. And I always want to say that. But when we get together and tell our stories, nobody can tell it like we can. Nobody can look at the stories that they exclude us and how it's going to affect us and break it down and tell you this is what you should know. They ain't going to do it like us.
Amen.
For us and bias is real. And there's value in our stuff, even though they try to water it down. Purchase our stuff, water it down, make it more whitewashed and take away its value. We're always going to come back home. Not you, Candace Owens, but we always gonna come back to Black.
Or Amber Rose.
Or
she ain't even Black.
Amber, she's ambiguous.
She ain't even Black.
Really Black to begin with.
Okay.
She was denying it from the get-go. She could go. It's okay. That's fine.
Folks, Black folks.
And the real journalist too. Thank you, Charlie. Cause I am. They ain't making them out here like that no more. They just getting on TikTok.
And that's it.
They did not get the training. They just getting on TikTok. A shout out to Ariana. She's one of our new hosts on Leftist Mafia. Beautiful young girl, Generation Z. Even though she was born in 1996, and they trying to play her saying that she's a millennial. She's not. She literally said she said they call it the millennial pause, which I do often when we're talking and we just take that little break. The kids are calling it, the young adults, because that's what Generation Z is now. But the young adults are calling it the millennial pause.
Y'all do that now.
But you know, I just feel like it's necessary. It's another provocative thing. It gets the people going. This is Ariana, and that's me with my other wig because it wasn't clipped down. So I had to put the beanie on. I was real cute, kind of. But yeah, this was a cute time. Matt was going in on Ariana because she said she is Generation Z. He wouldn't let her be. I said that girl is Generation Z. And then she asked us, did y'all have phones? And I was like, yeah. She said, did you used to hang it up? Yeah.
Ooh.
She said she never did. And I said, case closed. This is not a cold case. We have identified the case is closed. Generation Z, they're a thing. And then Matt gonna holler about y'all are also the problem because y'all didn't do right. Y'all voted for Trump along with boomers. I said, oh no. Get off of her back. Get off her. But no, she's a sweetheart and she has a really beautiful mind. Make sure you guys check us out on Thursdays. It's great to have another woman in the space. So it's good. It's gonna get great. I'm happy about that. But yes, generation, it just put me in a place where I'm like, dang, I love being grown. And millennial grown is so different from like boomer grown. We're not old because then people got old quick. They was presenting people in their 30s on these shows and they was looking ancient. Okay. In today's day and age, I'm 34. Like Keke Palmer said it best. They're trying to get us out of here. They're trying to get us out of here. And I don't see why. Because literally, I'm 4 years into my grownness. Okay. And I need to feel grown. Y'all want me to skip grown like we skipping climate? Y'all want me to skip grownness like we skipping seasons?
Okay.
I'm not doing it.
Don't
I'm
do
gonna
it.
go through my grown and sexy phase that I've been waiting for a long time.
You deserve it because I went through mine, and at this point in my 40s, I'm getting to that point like, you know what? I'm in my 40s. You'll get to the point where I ain't got to take this shit. I'm doing this for me, and I can do whatever the hell I want in your 40s, and it's so fun. Speaking of which, December 8th is my birthday, y'all.
Yes, here to the bag. Yes, here to the bag. I love it. My best friend's birthday is on December 9th. I think we do this all the time. But yeah, Gen X is I think what Bubba is. The forgotten generation, baby. They call them the other generation silent. Generation X, they literally went over it and said, yeah, why?
Because I think our generation is the one that saw all of this shit. It's just like the invention of the cell phone, the internet. It's so much that we saw, and now it's if you really think about it, it's our kids that are kind of like starting a lot of this mess. So we just set the hell up and just move into the background. We just fade.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy because I'm like, y'all kind of blended in with millennials, so it just kind of was like,
oh my yes,
millennials were doing the work. X, they were the birth of the internet. So they were the birth of the internet, but we were the functionality of the internet.
Absolutely.
So we had to work hand in hand. So we're just like, all right, we won. But Generation Z is trying to get us out of here.
Child.
And it's crazy because millennials were pushing for you. We were rooting for you, and we went and voted for Trump. Anywho, Ben, you got that little breakfast in?
Say again.
I be feeling like when Ben leaves the camera towards the end, he go get a nice bite of breakfast and come
go
back.
get something to eat.
That's what I feeling like.
It be like that sometimes.
No, but we were talking about Generation X, the generation.
Oh no, I heard the whole conversation.
Yeah.
There
it is. There are two. People get no.
Hey Ben.
He ain't got nothing in his beard.
God dang it, back up. Look.
And then I checked anyway.
Yes, Smokey Rhodes, you're only 28 years old. Look, I'm 28 and I have to remind myself that I'm an adult. Somebody in my Young Black Economist said Ari is one of the only non-Black streamers that ever supported me by actually subbing to my Twitch channel when I stream there. All talk, no action from some, but Ari, she is real. I love that. Ari gives me too. Like she's a very I like her strength and how she talks. I'm like, dang, I remember when I was so young and fresh, and now I'm grown, baby. And I just love being. I don't know, something about being grown. Like I feel like there's a sexiness. I went through a nice youthfulness, and wearing my little 2-piece outfits and all of that. Like when I went out this recent time to go see David O. Them young girls, y'all, was in 2 pieces. And I told you that the temperature went to freezing temperatures. They came out the car with no jacket. Clothes were, no undergarments were worn. Okay, slits was higher than high. I have no issue with that because that used to be me. Okay, that used to be me in Tallahassee, standing in these lines with freezing temperatures and decided to leave my coat in the car. But on this day, I said, y'all know legs is always going to be out. So legs was out, all the things. Cleavage still shows when I wanted to, all the things. But the coat came with me. The coat came with me. I know that we don't like to hold on to that accessory because it's bothersome. I know, but girl, check. If you can't check your coat at the spot, You don't need to be out.
You don't need to be there.
Okay? If you can afford to rest your feet at the spot, you shouldn't be wearing that shoe. You shouldn't be out.
Mm-hmm.
Enough.
If it hurt that bad, baby, just don't go.
Enough. You know you're gonna be walking miles because you decided to park away from it because you couldn't afford that $20 parking. You shouldn't be going.
I can't stand you.
My feet have war marks on them from the sacrifices that I made. And
yes,
I did it so you ain't have to do it, sweetie.
That's why this legs and this back bad now. We used to park 3 miles away and walk to the club to stand in line for an hour.
Dang,
we was dedicated.
Listen.
And then after a while, like, nah, girl, it's a handicap spot right there. Park right there in front of the door. It's okay. I get out.
Listen, how much you said that parking was? Take it, baby. Because listen. Look, Del Verde said, baby steps, Rebecca. Okay, baby steps. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get, because I was there too. I was there where I said, I'm gonna put that shoe on and we're gonna sacrifice 10 hours. We're gonna go to this event that starts at 10, but so we can get in for free. We're gonna stand outside for 2 hours in a little bitty outfit and then be sick the next day and do it all over again. The devil is a liar, and I'm glad the scales have fallen. I am glad the scales have fallen. Okay.
Oh,
anywho,
those are the times.
Ooh, Lord.
Ben tired. Listen, we're at the end of the show, you guys.
I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, man.
I'm so glad that you guys are here with us. If you are here with us, it means that you have enjoyed our show on today. And my computer wasn't working, but we made it. I'm so glad you're being patient with me. But please head over to patreon.com/like it or not and make sure that you support. Go ahead, Ben, take it from here.
Okay. What are organ at? Hold on, I got organ music for you, Ben.
You got organ music?
No, I'm just playing.
Oh man, I was saying if you got organ music, I got organ music over here. I got somewhere I can push a button. But listen, for real, we need everybody to do what you can right now, all over the building is what we say at the church. We need you to reach deep into your pockets, into your Cash App, and send these hosts, Rebecca Azor, DJ Exclusive. Yeah, I guess you can send something to the white man behind the scene too, DKG87. But y'all bless your hosts so they can keep doing this. We are not sponsored by anyone but you. And so if there's 200-300 people watching right now, I know there's 20 people that can send $10 each to one of your hosts and support them in what they're doing, because we want this to keep going, and it only continues with your support. Cash App. And now, if you can't and you don't have any money, here's how you help us. Listen, if you all have followed my channel any amount of time, you know my channel is one of the most suppressed channels on here. So go to each and every one of their channels, like it or not, Rebecca Azor, DJ X3C, subscribe to their channels, like every one of their videos, share every one of their videos. If you can't send a Cash App, then you can certainly help us beat the algorithm. Help us however you can.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. And Ben, I've been seeing your videos. I heard the organs in the background. I heard the preaching. I don't know if y'all seen Ben's new videos, but please check them out.
Please.
You will not regret it. You will not regret it. And once again, you guys support us. Please make sure you also support our producer, DKG87. He is recovering from an accident and he's here with no neck.
My brother.
Rebecca.
From another. He was here with a net that he's turning. I'm pretty sure he over there typing, looking from the left, and he knows we need that right eye. He can only give us here. What you said, David? All right, we're out. I love you guys, and we mean it.
Hey, if y'all haven't already, man, if y'all got nothing to do this weekend, go see Wicked. If you love a musical,
go see that.
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, they did their thing. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it is so worth it, and I'm ready to go see it again. Y'all, please go see it.
Now, since we're recommending stuff, if once you get done seeing Wicked, go watch Cross on Prime Video.
And I gotta watch it.
So damn good. Now
you saw it,
Aldous Hodge was saying his thing is bigger than the man. I said, well, I want to see Aldous Hodge is fine, and he did a great job. But not only him, it's black, because Tyler Perry tried to do Cross and he didn't do it right. And Cross is good. It starts
Yeah.
off slow and then
Yes,
it sneaks
indeed.
up on you, and then
Okay.
now you sitting there like, oh no. Who
All I'm gonna say is you had me at Emma. Well, I can't say it like I used to, but you had me at MFer. That is,
I remember.
remember
That was
that
so good.
episode. You
Ben, that
had
was
me
such a
at
good
MFer.
part. That was such a good part. I said it made me
Ooh,
want
y'all
to
about to make me watch it.
Because AAVE right there, great example. It showed us that it works in love.
That's right.
Watch it. Watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
Amen.
I love you guys.
Love y'all, mean it.
Work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like It or Not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life ish. I live in life in the ATL.